Right. Welcome back to Average Angler Life. Yours truly, Glenn. Also doing a little simulcast where we'll be playing this on Spotify. Real Cast Fishing Podcast. And a little shout out to Ground Fog. Hey, thanks for joining again. Already, well, one of the subscribers who definitely joined just about every single live stream that we've done. Okay, so what I'm doing this round, just trying to give you an update on yesterday's fishing trip to the Blue River. Okay, and let's see. Main thing I want to do here is just kind of give you a rundown as to what worked and maybe some of the things that I saw, as well as I've got a couple of things. I've got some unedited video where I just took the video and rendered it, put everything in there, and we're just gonna run it, and hopefully that maybe trigger some questions, or maybe some call outs and whatnot. Additionally, I also have the Google Earth up so I can give you some more detail, some specifics as to some of the things I saw this round as well. But definitely want to get the video going so you can see firsthand what it was like basically yesterday, and then additionally, just taking you to the trip to the Blue River, Oklahoma. Ooh, that's hot. Several things to just call out. I am a resident of Texas, so I fish Oklahoma as a non-resident. So you definitely have to get a non-resident fishing license, which you also have to check in online before you go to a location. You can check in days before, but you have 24 hours after leaving to check out. So like yesterday, I checked in. This morning I checked out. Okay, and it's pretty simple. You can go to their app, or there's a web page and all that you go to. But that's one of the new rules this year, to keep it in your back pocket. Okay. And then some other things I want to bring up this round, just kind of walk you through some of the things that I had to go through, all the different flies, and eventually the ones that actually caught something. And then, let's see. And then I did want to go into more detail, again, of the specifics of the Blue River, specifically the Hughes Crossing, aka the low water crossing area. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and begin the trip to the Blue River. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and start things off real quick. Okay, it's Saturday morning here at the Blue River. It's January 20, Saturday. I've got the 2-weight CGR fiberglass rod, and I got the mop yarn fly. Now we're going to kind of check things out and see what the morning's bite is like. Temperatures in like the low 50s right now, so let's see how it goes. Good morning. Coming up on the crossing. Let's see what the conditions are like this morning. It's supposed to be a really nice day today. Thought I saw some wind, or had some wind this morning, but I think we'll be okay. Side to where the pant waders instead of the hip waders. I'm thinking about maybe sneaking off down to the rocky area and take a look at things. Man, water is really clear right now. And I did bring my polarized sunglasses. Oh, nice. Beautiful morning here. I just stocked it, I believe, on Thursday too, so. Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna just kind of fish this area here, play it by ear, and then I'm gonna go down river and see what that's like. All right, and the time is 7:15, just short of 7:15. Pretty awesome place, isn't it? Haha. All right, and here's the rock I always like starting out the day at. We'll see how it goes.
Like I was saying, water is really clear. I think I may already put my polarized sunglasses on. All right, we'll just get situated up here and then we'll see how it goes. All right, let's go play. Okay, and I'm fishing about 3 foot, 4 foot under the strike indicator. Got that mop yarn fly. That's the December lure challenge. And I'm just kind of dead drifting at this point. I'm using this old school CGR fiberglass rod from Cabela's. I'm just going to let it drift along here slowly. See if there's any fishies. I'm going to be fishing close today. I left the 6-weight in the pickup, so kind of want to get close and personal and maybe get a fish or two on this little 2-weight. Little slow drift here. Had a slight tap. See if he'll hit it again. Barely nudged it. It's like a very slow, I mean, boom, he hit it really quick and I missed him. Kind of right in this spot here, so I'm gonna let it drift in a little bit and then we'll play it by ear.
Okay, and one thing to call out here is I initially started the morning fishing. I call it the rock. It's this rock that is just basically just upriver from this low water crossing area. I can see some trout moving about, but they're not active, or they're not really reacting to my lure, or in this case the fly. And so what I'll do is I'll fish this location, but then I'm going to shift further down river. Just to, explore a little bit more. Plus, I did see on another trip where a couple of individuals fishing this one spot where you need to go and wade in, and I wore pant waders instead of the hip waders that I normally wear this time of year. Usually on these warm days, I like wearing the hip waders 'cause don't need to really wade too deep and whatnot. But with these pant waders, I can go a little bit deeper, and I was purposely doing this because I knew I was going to try probably fishing some locations where, well, the hip waders would be way too shallow. I'd definitely get wet in this case. All right.
Do feel a little wind going here, so might be a chilly day, even though it's going to be 50s, 60s.
And I have to admit, the water is crystal clear. I can see all the way to the bottom without polarized glasses. Later on, I'll need them when the sun comes up.
Okay, I had a hit. I switched to the olive near deer, and he took it under quick, and I missed him. So let's see if I can coax him to hit it again. Looks like they want the near deer versus a mop fly. So let's just kind of play it by ear, let it kind of drift along, and I'll work this run again. Maybe I can get him to hit again. Definitely took it under.
All right, let me shift over real quick. Okay, I mentioned the olive near deer. This is it right here. tough to see. Let me go and use my fancy recording gear here and zoom in on it. All right, let's see. Come on, zoom in. I may have to take it to manual mode. Nope. All right, let's see. I'll move back out. There we go. All right, so it's basically a woolly bugger style pattern, but it's on a jig fly hook. Learned this from a guide for Texas and Oklahoma, and it's been a surefire fish getter, trout getter over the years. Alrighty, and I'll talk more on the flies and whatnot, but let's go right back to the scene.
Let's see if they're in the mood.
Okay, so I just had a hit, barely hit it, and I probably fished this for about 30-40 minutes or so.
For a moment.
So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in the video, get you to some more of the action. Okay, you can see some folks upriver from me that are doing well, and I'll talk more about that once we get to the Q&A session. All right, just skipping over. See if I can get over a little bit quicker.
All right.
Okay.
Point. I'm just kind of working my way up.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna shift it. I'm gonna make the command decision that I need to move further to another spot.
And then
right,
I'm looking for some action this morning, so let's kind of move around and play it by ear.
All
right. Action this morning. Downriver. Had a couple of hits here.
Okay. Here we go.
All right, we're gonna move downriver. Had a couple of hits here, but no steady action. Then I'm looking for some action this morning, so let's kind of move around and play it by ear. All right, let's work our way up to this one Delia rocks. The other day I didn't come through here because I was wearing my hip waders, but today I'm wearing my pant waders so I can go in a little bit deeper. I left the chest waders still at home because, well, those are made out of neoprene, and I usually save that for those cold winter days when things are frozen. And you definitely want to take advantage of having your stick, wading stick, because you could definitely slip, and you definitely want to have some what do you call it, polarized glasses, because if you step the wrong way, you're going to be going into some deep water. Okay.
And right here, where the cursor of my cursor is, that is where I'm aiming for. I'm gonna walk up, and it's actually gonna dip down and go above my I guess thighs, and come close to my belt when I come into the water here. But then I'll come back up here in this rock here, and I am wearing cleats on my waders, and I do have a wading stick. Just a slight slip and you could be going over. If you go the other way toward the middle of the river, it's going to go over your head. I think it's like easily 8-10 feet deep there. All right.
So at this point, I'm just kind of working my way up to the rock right here. Okay. Just got to slowly make my way up right here. And yeah, it'll get deep pretty quick, so I'm just gonna stand on this rock and situate myself and see if we can catch a fish from up here. Play it by ear. I switched over back to the near Deere. We'll try the mop yarn fly here in a little bit, and I'm using this little 2-weight so I don't cast as far as I normally am when I'm using that OPSD Skagit head. So hey, let's see what happens though, because they were here the other day, so let's see if they're still here. All right, maybe I'll go and fish it upriver first. Oh, there's a hit. All right, there's a hit that way. Let's see if there's a hit this way. kind of give it a little twitchy motion here. There's some current here, but not too much. Oh man, something just jumped over there. All right. I got cleats on to help me stay on this rock because things will get slippery on you. I'm wondering if I need to do a little twitchy motion on this thing. Okay, so I had a slight hit that way. Let's see if that's going to be the case over here. Oh, there's a hit. Oh, they're here. Nice. Yeah, I was debating about wearing the hip waders versus pant waders, and I figured, hey, I better put on the pant waders so I can kind of move in a little bit into some deeper water where I may need to cast, since I am using this little two-weight, three-weight forward line. Oh, actually, no, it's a two-weight, I believe. Three-weight weight forward line. Okay. I'm gonna do the little twitchy motion here, just to kind of. There's a hit. Oh man, that's 2 hits in a row. Killing me, Smalls. They wanted movement. Both of those were twitched when I got the hit, so maybe that's the case here. Who knows? I may need to switch over to that mop yarn fly. Oh, over there too now. Holy cow, we got some movement. We got some movement here. Let's go and take advantage of that and get it out to them here. See if I can convince them to strike. I'm thinking maybe I may even have to take that indicator off because I may not need it. Well, we'll just play it by ear. Okay. Come on, Mr. Fish and Mr. Trout. Mr. Fly. Mr. Fly Guy. Let's see it. I'm just gonna twitch it in a little. I'm really interested in see if that mop yarn fly is gonna be the go-to one to use. Gotta be careful though here. This is pretty unbalanced, seems. All right, we'll check back here in a little bit. Okay, that one got it. It was more downriver, but he definitely hit. It's gonna be the first fish of the day. It's gonna be a little trout. Three fish limit, and I normally keep the first fish, but I'm being a little picky today because, well, I want to be picky today. All right, so that one hit on a olive near deer. May switch to the mop fly here in a little bit. All right, let's get this guy loose.
And again, one thing to call out, it hit an olive near deer, but they wanted movement. I tried a dead drift upstream. I tried a dead drift here at this particular spot, and they didn't want it. It was weird. Normally I could get away with just doing your classic dead drift, just making sure my strike indicator was matching the bubble line or whatever floating along the surface, and that's all I needed to do. This round they wanted movement, so a little short twitch, a little short pull, some movement, sweep of the rod. That seemed to do it. And then later on, as the day progresses, I'll talk more about it then, or later in the video or the live stream. But they wanted a particular color. All right.
Back in the water. And let's see if I can replicate what I just did. Okay, I just cast over here to my right, a little downriver. Not a very far cast at all, since I am using this 2-weight, fiberglass 2-weight, and just kind of popping it over there. Okay, and we'll just kind of let it drift. And we'll let the fly do the work. Okay, just kind of letting it drift along. I may twitch it a little just to get it moving. All right, let's see if he'll take it. Come on, Mr. Fish. Okay. Kind of hit right about out there. Not very far at all from where I just cast, so I've got a feeling they're not too far. Let me see if I can get a better cast in. This is a slower action rod, little fiberglass daily Okay. All right, we didn't strike out. That's key. All right, and there are some bigger ones here, so we may be a little picky today. All right. I'm just going to drag it in slow. I'm thinking maybe I need to just take, there's the hit. Yeah, I may just need to take that indicator off and fish it without the indicator because it looks like they want some movement. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Okay. They may want a little movement on me, which I'm okay with that. Let's start with these twitchy movements. Okay. He just barely hit that one. I missed it. But I'm thinking I do need to take that indicator off and but let's try one more cast and I'll pull it off here in a moment. Okay. All right. I'll just kind of drag it slow. Give it a little movement. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Oh, right there. He barely took it under. He barely took it under. All right. We got ourselves a pescado. Mr. Troutreuse. Meet Mr. Fishy. Ooh, pretty one. All right, well, I'm going to take that indicator off because I really don't think I need it. Okay? They seem to be wanting movement, and the main reason why I use an indicator is to keep it in the money zone when they don't want much movement. So I may just need to just take this indicator off and let's just go for it, man. You know, it's just fishing. Fishing with reckless abandon. You know what I mean? And, well, let's just pop that off. That's that cork strike indicator. I like these things. I think it's the small or the extra small. All right, and let me just clear the line, and let's see what I can do. It's weird casting one of these fiberglass rods because you got to wait on the back cast before you shoot it out. Okay. All right, here we're going to be fishing the line as a strike indicator. All right, so I'll just kind of let it sink, and then I'll do these short pulls, and I'm watching that line, the end of my line, for the strike. Okay. All right. And a lot of times it'll be just a little subtle strike, either a hesitation or a definite tug on the line, and bring it in, because sometimes you'll get these hits right up close and personal. All right. Let's try to cross river here. Let it sink a little, and then just a twitch and pause. Okay. Twitch and pause. Let's see if we can convince another one of these Chartreuse to strike. And if we need to go back to the strike indicator, we will. Another one just bubbled up over there to my left. And now I'm gonna just kind of sweep it. This water's cold. My hands are already cold here from holding that one fish. All right, let's take it across. Okay. We'll let it sink. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this little short pull. Let's see if we can convince Mr. Fish to strike this thing. Well, who knows? Maybe they want a slow retrieve or a dead drift. We'll see. Doesn't take much to just throw it back on, and I had it about 3-4 foot under the indicator. Look at that, right over there. Okay. Let's see if I can convince him to come strike this baby. Oh, that was the hesitation in the line that I was looking for. He definitely popped it. Okay, let's see if I can convince him to do it again. Okay. There he goes. Oh, shoot. He had it. You seen it take that line out? All right, let's try it again over here. Yeah, we got some action today, right there. All right, let's convince him he needs to strike this. Watch that line. All right, now just kind of sweep it. Maybe do a little twitcher in there just to convince him he needs to strike it. Okay. Man, I had him. Hate that when that happens. There he goes. Oh, he did it again. Okay, the line pulled out definitely, and I just missed the hook set. That is all me right there. Okay, here I can't really see the end of my fly line, but now I'm just kind of watching the bend of my line. I can see that it's kind of wiggly, and if I see it straighten out or pull forward, that's going to be my heads up, time to strike. And in both those strikes, they were hitting as it was paused. Okay? Just as it was paused. Okay? All right, let's do this again, okay? It's a cat and mouse game, or fisherman and trout game right now. Well, at least we found a pocket where they're in right now. All right. Let's see how this goes. Definitely like fishing it without the indicator because it's less weight for me to cast on this little 2-weight. Not so much of a big deal with that 6-weight and fast action deal, but this fiberglass baby, it's a definite different cast. Very slower action on the cast. Okay. Bottom line, you got to wait on your back cast. That's really the name of the game when you're fishing one of these fiberglassies. Okay. Oh, he tagged it. He just barely hit it. I could feel it that time. There he goes. All right. Oh, this is fun. A little 2-weight fiberglassy. Look at the bend on that thing. All right, Mr. Chartreuse. That is fun. He's a little bit bigger too. Tad bit bigger. Nice. Let's go ahead and release him, and we'll get prepped for another cast here in a moment. Just gonna go ahead and let the camera keep running because I'm just gonna restream this later on, possibly tonight if I can get it rendered. And I'm gonna try minimizing the editing so that you get the full Monty feel or action of today, feel of the action today. All right, so I cast, I'm gonna let it sit. I must do these short pulls, okay? They seem to be deeper. That last one seemed to be a longer wait before the strike. And let's see if I can do that again. It was more of one of these little twitchy things as I was letting it sink. And I felt them tug it, and I decided just to go ahead and let it play a little bit longer in the water instead of recasting. Okay. And again, I'm paying attention to my line as well as I'm feeling for a strike. Okay. Let's see if they'll do it again. Come on, Mr. Fishy. I'm gonna let it sink, take it down, give it a little twitch. It's definitely deeper here. So I've got to give it time to get down to the money zone maybe. Okay. All right, no strike there. But let's go ahead and get another cast in. So bear with me. All right, there we go. Got to wait on that cast. Back cast, that is. Okay, so I'm gonna let it sink. Short twitch movement here, but I'm gonna not do a bunch of short twitches like that and that. Instead, I'm just gonna pull it and let it sit. Just kind of let it get into the money zone where they may be lurking. And really, I'm just paying attention to that line. Yeah, I do a lot more sight setting the hook fishing versus actual feeling them strike, especially with this setup here. Although I did feel that pretty good strike on that last fish. Okay. Okay, here I'm just gonna drag it. And as I drag it, I'm just gonna do these short twitches. Polarized glasses, there's a hit right there. He just picked it up barely. Let's see if I can get him to do it again. So my line straightened out, it came out and I could, there he goes, right there. Yeah, I felt that one. Oh man, look at the bend in this thing. Little tour. I think I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna have to keep this one.
Okay, so one call out here. I ended up keeping this one. I didn't measure them, but I did see another individual post a. Let's see if I can find it real quick. They post this deal that you can hold this little round ball looking thing, take a picture of it, and it'll estimate the size and weight of the fish. They posted on a group that I follow on Facebook, and when I saw it, I went ahead and ordered one. So I should be getting one here, I think Wednesday. Yeah, Christmas Eve day. Yeah. It's called the Proof Ball version 2.0. Kind of got me interested. I think it's a great concept, you know, so all you gotta do is just kind of hold it and take a picture of it. All right. Let me go ahead and keep going now.
Let's see. Yeah, he's bigger than the other ones. Go ahead and bring this baby in. Let's bring her in. Okay. And you certainly can have a lot of fun fishing a little 2-weight. Let's see, I'm not gonna net them. I'm just gonna play by the fish.
Okay, and then I see some questions coming in about where I'm fishing. You're on the Little Blue. I'm not sure what the Little Blue is. I just call it the Blue River. Later on, as the things go on, I'll go into more detail as to where I fished specifically in some of these spots. So this is the section I'm fishing. I've got a mark from a previous article I wrote years ago, and I just updated it. Plus, I wanted to just call out some key things that I've seen over the course of the last 20 years or so. We had floods, we've had, you know, droughts and whatnot. And what I wanted to do at this point was, when we get there, show you some of the details, most recent details, at least in this section that I've been fishing, to just call out some things that have changed that may call in or may help you out next time you decide to go fish the Blue River, specifically this area. Alrighty? Okay, let's go back right here.
Fish gods, if I can get them in the creel without a net, then it was time to be. He was meant to be caught. He is a nice one though. All right there. Oh, look at him. Yeah, he is a nice one. He'll make some din-dins. All right. And let me go throw him in the handy-dandy creel. Right here. All right.
Okay, and then another thing to call out is when you are fishing the Blue River, you got to make sure that you tag your creel or your stringer. There's no sharing of stringers. And when I say tag it, you put your name as it appears on your fishing license, and then it's called a customer number. You put your customer number on that tag and you're good to go. All right? And I think over the years, I think that's one of the most heavily tagged citations that the game wardens give, is not to have a tag stringer. All right, and then on the live streaming thing, yeah, I understand Premiere versus live. I do these rebroadcasts when I can't be in coverage. When I am in coverage, I will do another one where I actually wear the phone on my neck harness or use this other method, and I do those mobile fishing live streams, is what I call them. But yeah, all right.
All right, let me just open it up, make sure I got a good hold of them before I let go. All right, first keeper of the day, Mr. Chartreuse. That was fun. Tell you what, living the dream, living the dream. Little 208 fiberglass fly rod, and I'm fishing it under a olive near deer, a DIY olive near deer, kind of like a woolly bugger, and he stayed in close. He was very close when I got him. Okay, I was kind of letting it sink, and there's got a jumper over there, and I was kind of doing one of these little twitch numbers like so, and I saw it just kind of straighten out, and that's when I set the hook. And you know what's really cool about this setup? Sure does make the big ones or the small ones feel big. You know, I'm telling you, this is fun. You guts to enjoy it, man. All right, little two weight fiberglass. Let's see what we can do today. All right, hands are cold though. Whew. All right, I'm gonna let it sit. Little twitchy movement, short pull, kind of pausing, look for that straightening of the line, pausing, etc., etc. And then, of course, there's that when in doubt, set thy hook. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Just gonna kind of pop it here. I'm gonna let it sink again. All right, now here at that tail end, I'm just kind of dragging it, letting it sink, and there he goes. Something just picked up on it. Line just straightened out a little bit. Okay. It's like they're toying with it. Not sure if they really want it versus the strikes that I've gotten when they're really, really ravenous. In this case, they're kind of, I don't know, it just kind of feels like they're kind of taste testing it, you know? Like, I don't know about that. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Okay, so I just kind of twitch it in. I'm gonna bring it in slow. Look for that straightening. Okay. I tell you what, that last one hit really close. I was surprised. All right. See if I can get a little bit longer line out. Oh, right there to my right or my left. To my left. Drop it right down river or up river of them. Just kind of twitch it in. Twitch it in. Little twitchy twitch. Come on. Now I'm just going to drag it in slow. Kind of let it sink. All right. And this is when I'm fishing without an indicator. I'll tend to do more movement, and of course maybe that's the hit they want. There's a hit. He pulled out on it. He pulled on it. Okay, let's get it back out. Okay. I saw the line coming out on me. That was a definite telltale. Oh, and I just had a jumper to my right. Jumper to my right. Jumper to my left. Fishy, fishy, fishy everywhere I go. I'm getting punchy now. My hands are cold. I need another fix of the tug is the drug. I'm surrounded by them right now. Chartreuse here at the Blue River, Oklahoma, on December 20, Saturday, about 2 days after the trout stocking, the weekly trout stocking. It's that time of year where they do this weekly. Sometimes they'll even do 2 times a week. So stay tuned on their Facebook channel. They kind of keep you updated. Of course, you also have Scotty's Blue River One Stop. He's got a store down the road here that carries a bunch of stuff, and sign up on their Facebook page and get a lot of info there and updates and the latest and greatest, as well as some fishing reports from other fishermen in the area. Got some more jumpers over there. That tells me I need to keep fishing. All right. And one thing about river fishing, I just kind of let my line just kind of move around. All right. When I'm pretty bad at line management when it comes to fishing a fly on the fly here. Kind of like just letting it just kind of float down the river. Man, my hands are cold though. I may have to bring my gloves out. All right, let me go ahead and start twitching it in. See if I can convince him to strike again. Okay, I felt something. I felt some tension on that last twitch. Okay, and they're not really hitting it hard. Okay, maybe you can get a sense of when I set the hook and maybe get an idea why I did it. Okay. Right. Just a little twitch. Watch for that line movement. Okay. All right. Here I'm gonna drag it in slow. Okay. Looks like things may have slowed on me here. What's up with that? Come on, fishies. Hook me up. All right, that one, he hit it as I was kind of playing around with it and making an adjustment. Actually, I was thinking about putting the strike indicator back on too. I guess maybe not. All right. All right, I got him in the line. Let's go get him out of here. It's not a bad looking one again, but I already got one in the bag and I kind of want to keep going before I get really, really picky. Okay. I kind of hit him in the eye here, it looks like. Yeah, he hit it. That was cool. Let me show you again what I did. This time he hit it as it was more of a, as it was kind of drifting. All right, so let me see if I can get some line out. Okay. All right, let's just kind of let it drift down. Still seeing some movement out there. All right. So I'm doing a long pull now, and I'm just kind of letting it drift along. Let it sink. All right. And that one, as I was getting ready to reset and do another cast, I saw the line come out. Okay. So I'm just kind of watching that line. All right. And then at this point, I'm going to twitch it a little bit and just kind of drag it in, and I'm really just looking for that line to tighten on me.
Okay, and then one thing to also call out is when I'm saying I'm watching the line, I'm going to put my cursor here. I'm watching out here at the end of my fly line, but when I lose visibility of it, be it because of the sun or the shadows and whatnot, then I'll look closer into this section over here. If not, at times, just that little bend that I have as it comes out the rod tip. And what I'm doing there is, I've done it before where I cannot see my line at all, the sun's in my face and whatnot, and by just looking at this little drop in the line, I'll see it pull forward. That's the indication of a strike. Other times I'll just kind of see it fall back on me. Usually when that happens, the trout, the fish, has struck the fly and has pushed it forward and is causing a slack in the line. And then what happens is when that slack happens, that little curve or drop off the rod tip from the fly line, off the rod tip, starts moving as well, reacting. So it's sort of like using a strike indicator, but you're using your line itself. Okay, and that's when I'm looking up close when I can't see further out up here. All right. And I think things slow down. I'll bump up the video, take you to another section here shortly, and then after that, I think it gets really tough catching them after that. But I may just call out some key things out of the video, and then I'll open up Q&A. Definitely put them in the comments. I'm monitoring that, as well as if you have any, I can stop the video. Additionally, I want to get to the point where I can just call out some specific locations based on what I've seen in Google Earth. All right. And I think this one's been updated in 2025. So this is the most recent view of the Blue River from the Google Earth. All right.
Like I was saying, that last one, it just kind of straightened out just barely, as if he was picking up with it. There we go, right there. Oh man, I missed that one. Holy cow, the line was straightening it out, and I could definitely see it. Let's try over here. Maybe there's another drop on the other end here. I can convince him to do the same thing. Okay. All right. Let's see it. Come on, Smalls. Let's see it. Oh man, I had one just jump right next to me. There's someone over there again. These guys want to play this morning, it looks like. Okay. Slowly drag it. Pretty close too. I'll cast it back out.
I'm gonna start fast forwarding.
Sure, this time. I am seeing some movement over here.
See if I can get you to some more action.
It's weird. I see some movement. Oh, there's one just rising over there. Let's see it. Let's see it, buddy. Oh, my hand's locking up. Cold water. All right, this is the mop yarn fly. Right there. And well, let's see how that one does. I'm gonna keep it under the indicator. It definitely sinks a lot quick.
Okay, I'm gonna let the video run. So what I'm doing here is I switched over to this mop yarn fly, and I think it's like 9:30 now in the morning. The sun is up, water is really clear, and at this point I can actually see the trout coming up and striking the fly, and I can also see them reacting to the fly. And what I noticed, they didn't want a strike indicator. It was like night and day. Put a strike indicator on, didn't get any hits. They were ignoring. I could see the trout just passing by, not even trying to even look at my fly. Take the strike indicator off, and I switched to a white pattern, in this case that mop yarn fly, and then several other white colored flies, and I had reactions to the point of actually caught them later on. All right, so bear with me. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just skip around, get us back to some action. All right, and then let's see if I can get you back to the specific points out of Google Earth that I want to call out. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and run the video or put the audio back on, and I'm just gonna start fast forwarding.
Oh man, see where that takes us. To the right or to got a cast and just kind of as I may be switch back to the if indicator, and instead of dead driller, and you gotta
yeah, it was pretty rough fly. After that
it sinks a lot quicker column.
Okay. Okay, you can definitely see the water and the sun coming up, and you can definitely see into the water. There's that boulder or rock that I'm standing on.
Clear water here.
And it's deep. If I slide in there, I'm going under completely.
Maybe they're over here where the water's moving. Back in and warm up a little.
Yeah, here's where I'm going to take a break.
All right.
Warm up a little bit. Kind of chilly. And now I'm headed back down to the island.
Just looking over here by the island. There's fish happening here.
And you can see how clear the water is.
Here by those rocks again. Right. Where I got to play around with these trout that were...
All right, and what I'm doing here is I kind of want to scout this one area where all the rocks and these pockets of water are, about maybe, I'd say anywhere between 1 to 2 foot deep. Some of these areas, there may be a couple that's maybe just almost 3 foot that you got to be careful of. But I'm just kind of working my way down river, trying to get to this one particular spot, and I want to see if there's any trout there. All right. And I think I did an earlier video where I caught some in this particular spot using this same method I'm going to be showing you.
Got that log thing there now, so that might kind of change things. And well, we'll just kind of play it by ear. I got about maybe 2 foot under the indicator, and I'm just gonna start tossing the fly upstream, and I'm gonna kind of let it go downstream, and let's see where it takes us. Watch back it up a little bit to see if there's something lurking back here. Sometimes they get caught up in here as they go further down river, and we just gotta kind of get the fly in the money zone here. See if we can convince one to strike, maybe. Right there. Yep, there's one. He was on there. Okay.
Yeah, that was the only one that I had. I didn't see any like I normally see kind of lurking in there, but I did get that one on briefly. He got off. Now I'm just going to kind of play around, keep looking, exploring and whatnot, and
pretty much hang out here all day, and eventually they'll restock themselves.
And again, notice how clear the water is.
Let's go and move it up a little.
All right, I'm going to go bump the video.
Yeah. Just kind of drifting it down. See if I can.
Okay, so about
see if I see any more
3 weeks ago,
over here in the shallows
4 weeks
too,
ago,
or in the,
that log wasn't there.
Yeah, he got one.
Okay.
Coax them to hit it.
And there's been times where I'll see 20 trout
over here
in this little pocket.
Too. They may be lurking right on this corner too.
All right. I won't get anything here, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fast forward so you can see.
Right in this run, right in front of me.
Get a feel for what I'm showing you. And a lot of times, normally when there are trout there, I got my polarized glasses. I can see those little shapes and whatnot just kind of moving about in the riffles and the pool here.
No takers yet.
All right.
Just kind of.
All right.
It's fun.
I'm gonna head just down river
from that spot. Let's see what's lurking over here in this one spot.
Again, I'm just looking again at some pools. There's one particular spot I like trying. I think I'll get snagged here in a moment, but right over here where my cursor is, there's a little pocket where I've caught trout in the past. And along this run, I've dropped my fly in there and got them
moving
just
in a
dart
pocket
out of
over
the
here,
current.
just ahead of me. If I can just kind of edge my way up there, I think I can get into the money zone.
Oh, wait a minute. I went too far forward.
All right, let me see if I can get it out. Rock here, and there's a pocket over here, and I think stay away from where they're at. There's a pocket here, and there's a pocket over here, and I think I see a trout in one of them just ahead of me. So I'm just gonna walk it up slowly, see if I can get this thing untangled. And there we go. And then I'm gonna see if I can drop it right into this.
I can see clearly in the water right now without the polarized glasses. That polarized glasses still were helping me out. Being able to cut through some of the glare and seeing some of the shadows that were actually trout.
All right.
It's like I feel like I'm not fully ready to fish if I don't have my polarized glasses with me.
Just kind of drift.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bump it. Okay. Now I'm back up to the island. Normally, you'll see these rocks, but you won't see all the way to the bottom. At this point, I can see all the way to the bottom. I can see trout. There's about 20 or so in this area right now, moving slowly around. I actually even see some suckerfish as well as a few bass going by. All right. There's actually one just kind of lingering right here that I'm watching them react to my fly. And this is that one where I was telling you how I was able to switch flies, go through different fishing flies, patterns, colors, and I could see how they were reacting. And at this point, I've gone through just about every single streamer, color fly, as well as different patterns and whatnot, and it's all come down to either something white or earlier that olive pattern, olive near deer, when it was overcast, and taking the strike indicator off was making a big difference. And additionally, I did get some hits on some other flies, but again, it was still a tough go. This is not a normal trip where I'll go and I can catch upwards of 20, 30, 40 plus fish, catch a release, and get my limit easily. This one I had to work at it, and even then I ended up keeping 2, even though I probably caught, I'd say about 10 plus. All right. Slow day for yours truly.
Tandem rig with a squirmy worm and lead olive near deer. Just got a hit off it. Things were kind of quiet when we went further down the river. Right there's another hit. All right, so they're here.
So what's happening is I'm using what I call a tandem rig with a squirmy worm. All right, I've used this setup on the lower Illinois River in Oklahoma as well. And what I've done there is, let's see, this is a squirmy worm. All right, so I've got this little squirmy worm here, and it's about 8 to 10 inches trailing behind another fly. Could be a mop fly or basically a streamer. And what I'm doing is I've got it under an indicator, because this one you definitely want to fish under an indicator. And what's happening is when the fish strikes it, a lot of times you get that indication of a strike. He's hit it good, but he's actually grabbing this tail end, this little squirmy worm tentacle looking thing, and he's taking your fly under. But when you set the hook, you don't have him. All right, it's because he doesn't actually have the fly in his mouth. He just has that little stretchy portion on. Okay, that's kind of the tough part when they're just kind of nipping at it instead of actually fully, committing to the strike. All right, so let me take you back there.
Now I just got to get them to stay on. Let's see what we can do.
So I'm fishing this side of the
I had
river.
one over there by that one.
After a while, I'll switch back to the other side. Okay.
And he was on there briefly, but he got off. There's one. Oh.
Oops.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Pulled that one off. Holy cow. Mistakes and all. You seen that one. Holy cow. I was not
That's the Cabela's CGR. It's the 2-weight. I think it's like a 5.5, 6 foot rod.
Okay, there we go. Back in business.
Right. I tend to have to do a lot more false casting to get the line out that I need.
Deer, but I wouldn't get anything on the olive near deer alone. So adding the squirmy worm, maybe just that little taste.
All right, I'm going to bump the video. Okay.
All right.
All right, and what's interesting is I am seeing trout in the water. They're moving about. I can see them reacting to the fly, and really, they don't want anything.
Yeah, I'm stuck. I think I went way too deep.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's go ahead and bump it again.
Knock it. See if that might do it, and let's see if that makes a difference. So, foot.
I'm just making adjustments again the whole time. When something's not working, I'm kind of making a slight adjustment because I can see the trout and where they're at. I can actually see where my fly is in the water column. All right, I'm gonna bump it again. All right, this is when I went to the other side. See if I can bump it quicker. Okay, here we go.
Whew. Yeah, I worked all kinds of different flies, and I finally got them on back to that olive near deer. Oh man, that was a brutal one too. Took me a while to get this guy, but we'll keep it up and see if I get a bigger one. What do you say?
I should have kept them.
All right, so I moved over to this side from the island, and what I'm doing is I'm casting, taking advantage of the wind and the slow action on the fiberglass rod, and I'm letting it.
Okay, and then one thing I do want to call out here, and why you need to be careful, as well as why you need to have a wading stick, is I've fished this particular location over the years, and I've just kind of learned, hey, look for these particular rocks and whatnot. But I am actually standing on a rock that's allowing me to stand to where only my wading boots are in the water, maybe just a few inches, okay? But if I step off to my right, it'll pretty much go up to my hip. If I step to my left, it'll go to my knee. If I step behind me, it'll go about to my knee as well, all right? So I'm just pretty much standing on this upper part, okay? And then if I move further back, there'll be a bunch of these different rock dealies and whatnot and pockets. Because I got my polarized glasses on, I can definitely see at least where I'm stepping. But again, have a wading stick, and I do like having cleated wading boots on. And in this case, because I got my polarized glasses, I can eye where I want to stand, and I'm getting a good position over this particular log. Like right here, okay, there's trout as well as some bass and whatnot moving about, and these little bluegill kind of hanging here, but it's deep here, well over your head. Let's see, we've got Jason from the Philippines joining. All right, excellent. Must be maybe early there. Okay. All right, thanks for joining. All right, so let me go ahead and run the video, and then as we get to the tail end, I'll probably shift this over so I can go into Google Earth and show you specifics of what I want to call out for this particular Q&A. All right, and certainly if you have any questions, definitely shoot them out there. Right now, from a poll standpoint, I asked how many people have fished the Blue River. Right now, we're about 85% who have not fished the Blue River in Oklahoma. So I got a feeling that a lot of folks joining today are not in the area. But again, a lot of the stuff I'm calling out here, I believe may be of use. Learn to fish by my trials and errors, and I'm hoping that maybe some of these things I'm showing you may apply in your area. All right, cool beans. Let's go.
It's sink, and then I'm just doing these short pulls, a couple of short pulls like that, watching the line, no indicator, and I finally got one on that. So we're just gonna see if we can hook up again with maybe something bigger. What do you say?
All right, so I've come to the conclusion not to use a strike indicator. I'm using my line as the telltale to tell me to set the hook when they do strike. And that twitchy movement is still the key when I'm fishing. Look at that, right out in the distance, you can see some moving about and whatnot.
Jumping over here to my right.
Frustrating, huh?
Get his attention.
All right, let me bump the video.
Not sure what. Okay, I see. Starting to get active again. Let's see.
Yeah, I think things die down here as well.
Need to get some line going. There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna bump it again. Wait. Here we go. There's this one stretch where, yeah, here we go, where I'm getting him hitting on a mop fly. Okay, let's see. Oh, no, further upstream. Here we go. So I'm back where I started in the morning, over there by that one rock, and it's a lot more clear. Out in the distance, right out here, there's trout moving all up and down here along this one area. It's shallower here. You can tell by the lighter color. This is definitely deeper here. And down here, I'm watching some nice sized trout moving back and forth, and they're not reacting to my fly up until I go to the mega worm. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bump the video again. Yeah, there's actually one trout right here. I keep seeing him. He's just lurking there, doing nothing. He's reacting to my fly every once in a while, but he's just kind of staging himself there. Okay. And then over here, I'm seeing some nice sized trout. Probably 15, 16 inch. There's one that actually is a lot bigger than the rest of them, so definitely bigger than 16 inches. And he's reacted to my fly when I switched over that mega worm. And in fact, I think I had him on there briefly, but he ends up, well, coming off. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bump the video. Like I said, it was a slower day than usual. Unusual. Alright, here we go. Let me bump it back. Okay, what is this guy? There he is. And that's the mega worm I was telling you about. I ended up keeping that one.
All right, the trout are deep and they want something white, and eventually it's this white mega worm, but no indicator, no strike indicator. All right, and I got my polarized glasses so I can see them reacting to the fly, and in this case I'm just kind of letting it sink, get close to the bottom, and I'll just kind of twitch it, and I'll see that some of the bigger trout will come up and take a look at it as I do that. And really the big thing about these is getting them to stay on the hook, because depending on where they hit it, do they hit at the tail end, the head, you could lose it, or you could just kind of get them popping it. Here's one looking at it. Okay, he's just looking at it. Come back and hit it again. He was interested in it.
You can't really see from this angle, but there is that same trout just lurking
so
down
pretty
here.
much sight fishing, because I'm able to see the fly, and I don't have the strike indicator on, and I can actually even twitch it and get him to do a, see how he reacts to the fly. Okay, so in this last one, he came back and hit it twice. Okay, this one's chasing it. He's looking at it.
And right now, I'm seeing a trout actually reacting to my fly. He's following behind it.
He's looking at it again.
When I'm using that mega worm, they're actually circling around, coming back and hitting it.
Yeah, they're deep, really deep. So I'm just gonna kind
Only
of
if I
bounce
wasn't
it
using the
along
strike
and see if I
indicator.
get
As soon
their
as I put
attention.
that strike
There's
indicator
another one
on,
looking at it.
they weren't doing it. They were staying
That's
away.
pretty cool. I'm just amazed.
And if you notice, it's a pretty sunny
Tried
day.
all these different colors, and it finally came down to this white, and I kept changing the flies. Noticed that they wanted white, and then they wanted something big. Tried a smaller mob fly. I tried different things, but it's basically a big mega worm is what they want. I think maybe it's a visual thing, maybe. But what is nice is I can see all the way to the bottom as they come back and react to it. Like one's taking a look at it right now, and he's already come back to it twice and turned around. So they are interested in striking, and it's basically no indicator. Take the indicator off this time. Okay, so I'm down to one more to call it. Okay, just let it sink.
Okay, so I ended up catching, I believe, a couple more. Actually, no, I think I had them hit, but they came off. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see. And then I think at that point, we're going to switch over, and I'll take you to Google Earth, and let's just go over some key things that I want to call out from this trip. Especially for those that are able to fish the Blue River. Maybe this might come into play when you were there. Again, the Hughes Crossing area.
On the drop or chasing it.
Let's see.
So then behind it and took it. But it patterned as it's instantly.
Okay.
It's about 1:30. So far, I'm having fun still. Long reed right over there by the rocks. So we just built. That one was pretty nice. All right, sun's in my eyes, make it a little bit tough to see. I see some movement over here to the left though, so I may reset and cast to my left.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's going to be able to capture that that particular portion, but okay. Let's go ahead and shift over now to some Q&A and some call outs. So first thing I want to call out is right here. This is the strike indicator I used. All right, in this round, it wasn't working. All right, I went ahead and went in manual mode so I can zoom in on. There we go. That's the cork strike indicator. It's made out of cork. It's got a little painting here, but it's got that kind of wood-looking cork view, and then it has that O-ring that's been embedded in there. And this is the one I like using. Bottom line, what I say when it comes to strike indicators is use the smallest size strike indicator that will keep your fly at the depth you want. So if you're using a small strike indicator and it's going under, you probably need to switch to a slightly larger strike indicator, because you don't want a big strike indicator. A lot of times I'll see some folks go out there, they're starting out and they get this huge strike indicator, almost looks like a bobber, and they'll be getting hits and they'll have no idea that they're getting struck. Let's see, I may have some in here. In fact, I got my fly jacket over here somewhere. No, I don't. Okay, so that's one call out. Strike indicator, make sure if you are going to use one, definitely use the smallest. That'll still keep your fishing fly at the depth that you need it to stay at. Okay, but in my case, when I was out there, there was a lot of times where I didn't need the strike indicator at all. They didn't want it. You could see how the weather had gotten really sunny, so the fish weren't biting. They weren't going for it. All right. So the next thing I want to call out is, this is the olive near deer. I'm going to hold it upside down so I can show you. Okay. Let's see. Right there. Okay. And I tie these, and it's based on a pattern. It's called the near deer because its original pattern is the John Deere fly. Let's see if I can grab one. And I have one, but it's not. Oh, no, I don't. I thought I did. Oh, no, here it is. Okay. The original pattern of the John Deere fly that's used over there in Bennett Springs, Missouri. All right. And what I do for that is I don't color it with that yellow and green that looks like a John Deere tractor, and then I tie it with that extra tail. All right. And then I'll snip it right here when I'm getting ready to fish it. Okay. And this is your John Deere fly. All right. I typically fish this one when it's cold and I just need it to kind of linger in the water column and get those subtle strikes. All right. But picture it. This is the John Deere fly, but picture it with the tractor colors. Let's see, right here. So it's going to have a green head and then a yellow, green head and then these yellow eyes, and then the tail is only going to be that little snip right there, right? Not that long. I just keep it long and snip it as I go, because sometimes they want this without the or with the longer dealy tail. All right. Okay. And so this is the John Deere fly. It's tied similar to a woolly bugger. Okay. I have this one Palmer wrapped. Okay. This one's Palmer wrapped right here, but I will tie it with a dry fly wrap. So the hackle is more in the front here. Okay, it just depends. And usually the tail is about a shank length. Okay, so basically it's a small fly. This is a size 10 jig fly hook, 1/80th ounce. Okay, but it does come in 1/124th ounce. Yeah. All right. Other things. Let's see. This is the mega worm. This is the one that I was using, and I tied a couple of these earlier today in another live stream just to show. And let's see if I can get you a visual of that. Okay. This is the mega worm. Okay. Let me just hold it this way. All right. That's the mega worm. Okay. It's basically a yarn right here. That it's like the same consistency of like those bathrobe baby blanket deals, you know, that that are made with this yarn. Nice and soft feel and everything. And I've got some UV polar dubbing here to just give it a little bugginess. And when I fish it, I'm trying to keep it moving, and it'll drop in the water column like so. Main thing you want to do is make sure it's wet before you actually fish it, because it needs to sink. A lot of times if you don't do that, it's going to just sit on the top of the surface as it soaks up water and eventually start sinking. Just get it soaked before you fish it. The other thing is while you're casting, a lot of times this tail will get foul hooked onto the hook itself. So you want to make sure that it's not foul hooked when you fish it. All right. And I'm telling you what, I saw some nice sized trout just kind of trailing behind this thing, grabbing it by the deal here, and I tried setting the hook, and guess what? I didn't catch them. All right. The other thing that I was using that I did get several hits, but they got away from me, was a mop fly, a caterpillar or something like that. You say like a woolly bugger. It's not a woolly bugger, but yeah, it definitely does look like a caterpillar. If you're talking about the mega worm. All right, the mega worm. The near deer does look like it's tied very similar to a woolly bugger. All right, this next one is the mop fly. All right, and this one usually gets a lot of hits, but it was kind of unusual this round where I wasn't getting as much. Okay, and this is tie, another simple tie, very similar to the mega worm. This right here is just a little dust mop nodule right here, and then I've still got that little UV dubbing. It's on that 1/80th ounce jig fly hook. All right, and it's fished in this manner under a strike indicator. Sometimes I use it as a lead fly. All right, in a tandem rig. Okay, and let's see. Let me see if I can grab one here. This is a tandem rig that I had attempted to catch something. I think there was one part of the video. Does it sink? Yes, it does. You just gotta make sure you let it soak with water, or soak it before you actually start fishing it. All right, let me see if I can show you this one. So this is a tandem rig that I was fishing, and I need to cut the tail end of that, but this is an Eggstacy pattern right here. This is, I caught one trout with this, and it was the peach pattern one. Okay, and I'll cut that, but I put a Y2K on the end because I was trying to get it to do one of these just to get them to strike. Okay, but I did tie, this is the one that I had at the ready. This is a squirmy worm, and I've already got it pre-tied to where I can just get it tied to the lead fly, right? But this is again the problem that you have with the squirmy worm is when they grab it, they're grabbing it right here. Oh, I just tore this one off. Shoot, broke it. All right, and they'll grab it and they'll pull this, and they'll give you a false indication of a strike. Kind of bummer there, you know. Okay, those are the ones I wanted to call out specifically from a fly standpoint and a strike indicator. And if you see the earlier video that I showed, I did a live stream of tying the mop fly, okay, or the mega worm. And then I have some old videos. If you look up near deer, DIY near deer, you can see how I tie that. I did a couple of shorts also that kind of show you how I tie those. Okay, and let's see, from a fly box standpoint, I usually keep some mega worms and whatnot here. Okay, right there. And then I had some of these guys standing by, and you can see one's used up. I used the peach, and then this is all messed up right now from this trip. You can see I've gone through a number of these flies, and you know, the action's happening. You're not going to maintain a well organized fly box. You're just going to keep tying, moving, and you can tell. All right, so if my fly box at the end of a trip looks like this, then that meant I kept switching flies and whatnot. If you just see like a few out of place, then that means I found the pattern fairly quickly and I don't need to switch anymore on the flies. I'm getting everything I need to. So yeah, that was a tough trip, this trip yesterday to the blue. All right. So that was that. And then I did go through some of these right here. Squirmy worms, some midges. I called it the PMC plain something caddis fly. It's a midge. And then I tried several tried and true patterns from the Blue River that I picked up over the years from other fishermen, and well, it all came down to a mega worm and a olive near deer. Those were the go-to ones that kept me out of trouble, other than I did get one on that one egg pattern. All right, okay, let's see, I need to turn this on. This is my fancy camera gear, okay? It's a what is it? Canon SL1 that I picked up used, and I actually replaced my T2i. I think my gear is anywhere between 5 to 10 years old, and in this case, this baby's pretty old, I guess. It's not one of your top rated stuff, but hey, it's got autofocus when you need it. All right, I want to take you now to Google Earth. And let's talk specifics, because hey, you watched the video, you got some pointers. Now I want to take you to the Blue River, and I want to take you to Blue River, and I want to call out some specifics. So years ago, if you go to hub pages and you look for how to fish Hughes Crossing, I wrote an article. It's been around for a while, and in there are some specifics of yours truly fishing the Blue River, specifically Hughes Crossing, and I had a visual of the Blue River and some key things to call out. Let's see. Wonder if I can still find it real quick. Let me try real quick. All right. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to take you to this article, and it's going to call out some specific things from way back. It's at where to fish for rainbow trout at Hughes Crossing, Blue River. Okay. And let's see. Let me close this out. And there we go. All right. I got to make an adjustment on the view, just because let's see. No. There we go. All right, I gotta do this on the fly, so bear with me. All right. So this is an article. It's been around for a while. I can't even remember when I put it out. And let's see, 2023 was when it was last republished. Okay. And it's on this site, Hub Pages. Okay. And let's see. I'll just kind of scroll. So here it talks about Blue River Public Hunting and Fishing Area. Some details there about the season, and then a little view of the area, and then Hughes Crossing, and then it should give you a visual, and it actually even calls out specific areas. But things have changed since I posted this. All right, but there's the visual. I think at one point, Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation was calling this one out as the as an article for folks to take a look at. All right, so some things have changed, and well, do take a look at this one if you want some more details about fishing Hughes Crossing. Okay, let me give you that. But then also take a look at this video, specifically this tail end that I'm going to get to, because I do want to call out some things that have changed over the years that I believe still apply. All right, and look at this right here. Look at that thing. Individual was coming back after fishing. This was I think the week after the Trout Derby, they had stocked some nice bruiser trout, 5-6 pounders easily. All right. Look at that guy. That's a big one. All right. But back then they used to host 2 trout derbies every year, Veterans Day weekend and then President's Day weekend. And then now it's just the President's Day weekend that they host this, and they put some bruisers like this baby right here. Okay. All right, and then good luck, good fishing. I think this is when I was still using, when the channel was City of Allen Fishing COAF Field Team. I've since rebranded as Average Angler Life because my teammates have abandoned me. The team's not getting back together, so I figured, hey, let me just talk about yours truly, and taking you on this journey. All right. Okay, so take a look at this article, give you some details here, and then also refer to what I'm coming to here next to talk about, which is, hey, picture's worth 1,000 words. How about a video and a Q&A session talking about some specifics of the Blue River, specifically Hughes Crossing. Okay, so right here I'm just showing you from a background view. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit more. Okay. All right, and here I'll take myself out of the pictures because it's not about me. It's about the Blue River. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and bump this up, and let me hide the rest of this. Might as well give you the full Monty here. Okay. All right. Bear with me. I'm just going to blow it up so you guys can see stuff. All right. Okay, let me take it in just a little bit more, just so you can see this initially, an overview. Okay, so there's a bunch of spots here that I'm showing. Okay. All right, and I've got them marked out. I got my cursor on there now. Let's see. Can you see? Yeah, there we go. All right, so this is Hughes Crossing. This is the parking area here where I have the Hughes Crossing pin. Okay, this upper area is where the restrooms are and whatnot. Or no, this is the parking area. This is Hughes Crossing. This is the disabled parking, and this is it's a parking area right here, but it's also where you can do some camping. Okay, up here is the restroom. All right, and as you come down, you'll see, I think in part of the video you can see some folks crossing. They're actually crossing the river and coming into, I think it's called Campground 3. This area right here is Campground 3. All right, all this stuff. All right, and what I want to do is first take you to where I started the live stream, where I came in and I guess started fishing. So I'm going to zoom in, and what's nice about Google Earth is, look at this. You can see rocks, you can see runs and whatnot, a sandbar, hint, 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 sandbar, okay? And right now the imagery date is showing down here 2023, but as I pull out, I believe it's going to show 2025. Yeah, image 2025. So it's only 2 years old. So good news there. I think before they had some older imagery, and it was out of date. Okay, so let me go ahead and take you down here. So when I first came in this morning, or that morning, yesterday morning, I parked up here. Okay, came back down, and I'm coming over here. This is the disabled parking area. Right here is Hughes Crossing. This is all underwater. Okay, but you can drive your vehicle over it. And what I did was I'd come over, came around, and I started fishing from what I call the rock. Okay, this is where I was fishing. All right, and as I zoom in, a couple other things to call out. You can see there's some deeper water here, and here. This whole area right here has a bunch of rocks that you got to be careful. You can weight it. You just make sure you have polarized glasses. Make sure you have a weighting stick. Make sure you step lightly. Do the 3 point, 3 points at all times when you're moving. And I call this the ledge because if you step over, you could fall over into some deeper water fairly quickly. All right. So anyways, in the past, I could fish this section here and definitely catch a fish or two. If not, stay there all day and limit out and do a bunch of catch and release. But this round I didn't. It didn't do so well. If you go further upstream from Hughes Crossing or the low water crossing, I got all these different places marked: Bank 1, Wade 2, Bank 9, Bank 9, Bank B, etc. So what I'm showing you are the different places where you can either wade or fish from the bank. And the item I want to call out is right here. You'll see some rocks. There'll be a bunch of shallow rocky areas. Right over here is an undercut and a channel. All along this here, you'll see trout moving up and down, as well as kind of moving through this area here, as well as here. Okay, this is shallow. Okay, this is deeper. There's a waterfall like deal coming through here. If you fish these sections here, usually you'll get into them. Okay, let me move back over here. All right, so there's some waterfalls. You can actually stand up here. Just make sure you have some good footing gear so you don't slip. Okay, you can see this is shallow. All right, so I see a lot of times I'll see people fishing here and over here and fishing into here, and I'm like, maybe shift a little bit to your left or right and get to this deeper pocket here where they're lurking. Okay, up here this is a steep bank, but you can fish it down into here. This section here all along right here is steep. Okay, right along here is pretty steep, plus it gets clobbered. If you're gonna be fly fishing, it's gonna be pretty tough to fly fish unless you get in the water on this side here. Okay, on the other side I mean. All right, I will fish this section here where I call it Bank 9. Okay, but what I do is there's these rocks here, and there's actually a little spot here where I can stand, and when I'm using my OPST Skagit or my switch rod, I can cast anywhere up in here and here and get into the money zone where those trout are lurking. Okay, so keep that in your back pocket. Again, the rock, that's where I first started out. Okay, and then you can fish anywhere along here in these pockets and whatnot. Over the years, I've done well. I've used ultralight bait casting gear, spinning gear, fly fishing gear, and easily caught fish in this area here from the low water crossing itself. A lot of times I'll see folks come out and they won't have any wading gear, or they have these boots on, like rain boots and whatnot. If you can get a pair of hip waders, it'll open up the river for you big time. If you get a pair of hip waders. But I do strongly recommend have a wading stick, and make sure you get boots that have some kind of non-slip function, be it cleats or felt soles or something. Okay, those rocks get very slippery. Let's see, fished this area 20 plus years, and yours truly has had 3 dunkings. 3. Yeah, I've fallen in the river 3 times. All right, and I had cleats too. All right, where I ended up catching the trout that I kept, that first one, actually the first 3 I caught, was, I call it Boulder 2 right here. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, and if you see right here, this dark area, that's that hole I'm fishing. Okay, right over there in the distance, if you'll see, and right here, you saw that discoloration in the water where it was lighter versus darker. That's the shallow area here. It's definitely shallow. It's probably wadeable if you can get past some of these these holes and pockets. Okay, but here, fishing Boulder 2, I call it, all you do is just walk the bank and just enter, and then as long as you have wading pants, you should be good to go in making it to this boulder. But I do have to admit, you need to be careful, because you slip going forward in here, you're underwater. You're easily underwater. I think one individual who'd been fishing the river 20, 30 plus years actually fell in and almost died. So I would strongly caution to make sure that you have good footing here when you are fishing the boulder. I have seen other folks, going along here, boulder 1, etc., and kind of fishing into this area here. This is bank 11, what I call up here. That's the disabled fishing area. Wheelchair accessible, and you can fish into here. There's a lot of rocks and whatnot, but catching a fish or two is possible. Just if you can get further this way, or that way, over here, you have a better chance. Okay, let me go zoom out. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, bank 10. So campground 1 of area 1 is right in here. So if you can get campground 1, you can get out of your campsite and walk down the bank, and you're right here fishing the money zone. Right here, this whole area usually has a chance of trout easily if you're fishing Hughes Crossing. Okay, bank 13. I call it 13 because it could be tough. All right, this whole area, it can be tough because it's got a lot of brush and whatnot, and very hard access if you're going to be trying to fish from the bank. Put on some hip waders, put on some pant waders. You're in the water, this whole area is going to open up to you big time. In the case of chest waders, you can actually kind of walk through here and you can see the sandbar. Okay, there's a sandbar here. There's actually a sandbar here now. Before, there was a nice size sandbar where you could walk up there. Yeah, the water gets up to your chest as you're walking up from this bank, but once you're there, it's up to your knees, if not below your knees. Now, I think it's more like maybe knee to thigh deep, and this whole area is accessible now because the sandbar's back. We had some floods and whatnot that kind of wiped out the sandbar. It slowly built back up again, and now, yeah, I'm seeing fishermen out there. I think you probably saw in some of the videos where you'll see folks fishing the sandbar, and what they're doing is they're fishing. They're staging on the sandbar, and they're fishing in this area right here. And pretty much the trout are doing their standard circle around and do whatever, or lurk in the runs and whatnot, and stand by for whatever there is to bite or to eat. Okay. And then bank 10, you're over here by bank 10 because now there's these two swinging rope dealies, so you can, I guess in the summertime, if it was hot, you could, like a rope swing on it, let go, jump in the water. All right. Over here is the island. It used to be a lot bigger island, and it's now smaller. This slowly has been eroded away to where more of the rock has been exposed here. Be careful. Make sure you have polarized glasses. Make sure you step and make sure you're sure-footed as you're coming through here, because you slip over, you're going to go ahead into the water and it'll go over your head. All right, it's pretty deep in this section here. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, now this area here, you'll see some trout passing by. Okay, but not near as much as if they're in the deeper area. Okay, all along here, along the island, you'll see a lot of times where I'm just sitting up here and I'm fishing that log deal or this other log deal here. Okay, I'm kind of fishing this area here, all along here. Okay, trout are just continually moving through this area. All right, as you get to these rock and riffle area right here, they'll kind of sit right here. They may even go downstream a little, maybe some heavier water flows and whatnot. They'll kind of head further downstream, but a lot of times they'll be kind of staging right in this area. Okay, there was one year that I went fishing, and I was standing right here behind the island, and I spent basically half the day going through every single fly in my fly box. And what happened was, and I didn't learn about it until I got the DVD from the Blue River Fly Fishers. They made a DVD from way back where they were describing some flies to use on the Blue River. And what happened was I was there. It was below freezing, and then the temperatures rose above freezing, and a bunch of these trout showed up, and they were sipping this little bug or something on the surface, and I had no clue what they were. Couldn't tell what they were, in other words. I thought something was hatching, but I didn't see anything flying about or anything. I couldn't actually see anything in the water coming up, and I didn't have a net with me to sweep the water and take a look. But sure enough, it turns out it was a midge hatch phenomena on the Blue River that happens when the temperatures are below freezing and then the temperatures go above freezing. These insects start hatching, and the trout just start converging on them, and they're just kind of slurping at them. All right, let's see if I got the DVD here. All right, bear with me. Right here, that's the DVD. I picked it up at Scotty's. Okay, that's Barry Schrader. He's a great ambassador to the Blue River. And on the back here is some individuals explaining how they tied some of their flies, to include this little black midge. And now, as you can see right here, I keep one all the time on me. Let's see. That's right. It's tiny. All right, it's very tiny. Bear with me. I think it's a size 22 or size 20 hook. I'm going to try holding it up. Okay. All right. Right here. And all it is wrong way. Sorry. All it is a size 16. Oh, wait a minute. Shoot. Sorry, guys. I forgot. I'm on autofocus. I gotta turn it off. Go to manual. Bring it back again. Yeah, it's my fancy gear here. All right. It's better to spend your stuff on fishing stuff instead of electronics. Hint, hint, hint. All right. Okay, so let me see if I can get it in there. There we go. Look at this thing. It's a size 20. Yeah, size 20. Oh, here it is. Size 20 fly right here. Okay. That's it right there. That's what they were eating. And ever since I got that DVD, I keep these in my fly box. All right, and this same fly box I've been using over the years. And yeah, I keep it handy. All right. Woo! Let's get back to the Blue River. All right. Okay, so yeah, I was standing right over here. Let's see, right here where my cursor is, and I would say 100 of these trout were all staged all along here, slurping away, and I had no clue what they were doing until I got the DVD. All right. Okay, let's move on. I want to call out this particular location, the rocks. So in the video, you see how I started out by the island, and I started walking down this area here to this waterfall run like thing, rapids, rocks, and I'm actually standing up above here, and you'll see that one log has kind of blocked an area. The water's flowing through there, and right in this hole here, I tend to go in there every chance I get just to take a look at what's lurking there. Sometimes there's nothing there. Sometimes there's 10, 20 trout just kind of moving up and down the area, having fun. And what I do there is I'll set up the strike indicator and about 2.5 foot of line under a olive near deer, a white near deer, whatever they're biting on in that particular day. Okay. And then I called out, I think, these rocks, and I went further downriver. There's a pocket here, and there's another pocket over here, and there's water running down this way. Well, this whole area at times will hold the trout. Not as much as you see further upriver. where I was saying by the boulder, by the sandbar and whatnot. But on occasion, you'll see them kind of lurking in here. And then you got a pool here. So it'll be another set of rapids here, another set of rapids. You can easily walk through here with pant waders, if not hip waders. You won't make it with the rain boots though. And you can fish this section here as well. Sometimes I'll catch them in here or in here and just kind of, you know, do your classic fish like a higher flowing water and, you know, kind of fish in that manner. But yeah, so let's say if I was limited in time and I had chest waders, I'd fish the sandbar for sure. If I was just staying with the pant waders and whatnot, boulder, the island, actually the boulder, let's see, and if I was just going with hip waders instead of the pant waders, the island and the rock, and then anywhere up in this area here on the bank, if not wading up in here. All right. Okay, so I think with this video, taking a look at the latest of what I posted, as well as that article that I posted in the chat and whatnot, I think that'll give you enough to be a little dangerous and maybe catch a fish or two. All right. Okay. Do stay tuned. I'm doing some adjustments to the long form video. It's actually going to be shortened, and that'll eventually come out as a long form video format to the Average Angler Life channel. Initially, I'll also post this on Spotify. I think it'll come out later. I think everything's like a month or two later from when I fish. So whatever's on there now is mainly some stuff I did about a month or so ago. All right. I think the last thing I posted was fishing Denison Dam, fly fishing Denison Dam, I think it was. Or I think it was kayak fly fishing Denison Dam. All right. All right. Jonathan, all right. Thanks. I'm glad it was helpful. All right. So with that, I think we're at the point where I can call it. I think I got the word out as to what how the day was and how I was fishing the Blue River these past few days. And let's go to the poll. It looks like 85% of folks have not fished the Blue River. Wow, that's a good amount of people. Well, hopefully some locals may be able to get a chance to take a look at this video and give it a try. All right. Okay. So that said, appreciate you guys joining. All for now. Next time we'll catch y'all later. Good luck and good fishing.